and also um we'll probably have to duck out to put the baby to bed soon. So I'm just like listening and well try to participate how I can. But this is so exciting. I was like, okay, I'm still working, but I'll just jump in.
Honestly, Rachel, like I'm just so excited you were able to hop on like last minute, and it feels like such a big honor to get to like host your awareness and like have you contribute to this call of wise women. Kayla, I'm so excited to see you. I know you're driving. So beautiful.
Yeah, but I'm here.
Yay! Oh my gosh, guys, if you all knew, I guess you can already feel it, but if you knew who all was in this call right now, you would just be so ecstatic to get to like experience each other and like get to hear from each other what we're experiencing during this time of shifting. This is a huge super moon. The energy with this moon is like really big for manifestation right now. It's a very creative energy. The things that you've been essentially collecting in your mind, the things you've been collecting in your body that you want to create, that you want to become, this is the time to really document it in a journal, write the times that you have epiphanies, really just like begin to collect those things that you feel like you're here to do. Because like purpose energy is really big right now. New earth energy is really big. Essentially like the big changes, the big shifts. Right now, people will be more psychically sensitive. So your psychic centers, whether it be a gut center, maybe you're a gut intuition, maybe you're an emotional intuition, like you could pick up on other people's like emotional feelings. Maybe you have an open crown chakra, you like know other people's thoughts. Maybe you have just downloads from the universe, like when you wake up in the morning immediately. Kayla, I know that you've got defined head center, so you're going to experience divine coding, divine frequencies first thing in the morning when you wake up. If any of you guys have a defined head center, Lauren, I believe you do as a
Remember.
in human design.
Yeah, I totally don't remember.
I can't recall exactly, but I know that if you have a defined head center, this is just something to know in human design, you will receive codes first thing in the morning, you'll receive downloads. So to be recording what you're experiencing, what you feel like the collective needs to hear, it's really crucial to do during this point in time. If you're an open head center, Austin, I believe you are, Rachel, I believe you are as well. You're going to be receiving other people's energy. You're going to be very aware of how people are receiving these codes. So like you're here to help nurture and help the collective kind of move into these new ways of thinking. So guys, thank you so much for being here. This is a big deal. This is a big moon.
It is, and the energy is really malleable. Like I think I'm like what I'm feeling a lot right now, it's not so much like sometimes with full moon energy, you're kind of like swept along in the current of whatever it is intensifying.
Yes.
But I think now is sort of like what's being heightened is a lot of awareness.
Yes.
And a lot of things are being revealed. But then you still have the energetic ability to do something with that, to course correct if you're not really, like if you're now aware that you weren't trending in the direction you want to go.
Yes.
So it feels like a very tangible, malleable energy as opposed to just kind of like, you're in the undertow. So it's very powerful.
Yeah. Okay. So Lauren is a Gemini. Her sun sign is a Gemini. And Lauren is essentially what I would consider a ether or an atmosphere priestess. So she can kind of read the atmospheres that are coming in. She can read kind of how energy is affecting the collective. And if you don't follow Lauren online, like Lauren has no idea. I'm just like totally endorsing you on this call. Like follow Lauren. Lauren knows energy. She reads it like crazy.
It finds its way into the music, I think is really like the music is the outlet for transposing all of those downloads.
You are a songwriter, and lots of songwriters right now are speaking about this transition time. So there is a big time to step into what you've been wanting to manifest right now. It's a very creative energy. Pisces is the ruler of the dream state of the third eye chakra. Anything you've been imagining your third eye, this is the time to begin to step into what you want to create energetically. I would love to hear from Rachel Moulton. What have you been experiencing as an Aquarius? Because we are in the Aquarian age. Like, what are you
Yeah.
experiencing in terms of how the collective needs to step up in their identity, in their solar plexus?
It's so interesting. So the like terminology of like understanding astrology and human design and like the intricacies, like I don't track and follow as well. So I'll kind of like be experiencing things and then I'll like check into something and I'll be like, oh, that's exactly what's happening to
Yeah.
me. And that's
Mhm.
kind of how I like go through my learnings, like just like periodic like checking in. So anyway, I'm an Aquarius and I've been like a chronic people pleaser my whole life. And that's
Mhm.
been like a source of deep anxiety that like I like mentally experience and physically for sure experience. Cassie's definitely known like me at different points in my life where I've been like so physically anxious that it's like kind of hard to get past. And so
Yeah.
Mhm.
now I'm feeling like just this um like energy to kind of like get over that, but also like the tools to get past it in like a healthy way.
Mhm.
Before I've been like so terrified of conflict and just been so overwhelmed by like, you know, what could go wrong or like this need to be liked or like maintain people's perception of me. And I feel like this deep sense of freedom,
Mhm.
honestly, like I feel like I've just been like recently like released like these things that have held me back, like
Mm.
all of these like subconscious like things of like
That's
my
epic.
ideas of what people must be thinking about me at all times. I've just like let them go, and
Yeah.
it's really like sudden like
Mhm.
that, honestly.
Oh,
Um,
so like a
yeah,
quick, it's like you got upgraded instantly to like deep
yeah,
awareness of you don't have to follow other people's rules or you don't have to
Oh
live.
my God, it's like Aquarius awakening.
Yeah.
yeah. And I do know like a little bit about like, or I've kind of heard a little bit, I guess I should say, about like DNA upgrades. I don't like again really understand it, but if I had to guess, I would say that that's what I've been experiencing. Like I physically feel the sensation of like my muscle tone changing. Sorry, um, sorry, y'all.
You're
Started to
good.
difficult. Can y'all see? Okay,
You're
like
coming
muscle
in
tone
All
here.
right, I'm still
changing,
hanging on every word, Rachel. So
I am too.
like without me necessarily doing very much. Like I've noticed like my spine, um, even like clicking into place. Like literally last night, I was laying in bed, not really even doing anything special, but I've been kind of conscious of this, like feeling like I'm upgrading and up leveling, and that's kind of what I was thinking about. And I literally felt my spine like it literally felt like it just kind of came together and like things in my body that have felt like stuck. I don't know, just feel like they're releasing. So I'm kind of just thinking
Yes.
about that and whatever. And I happen to have a little Pisces baby, so like I'm
oh
totally
my
just, you know, she's
gosh,
a year and a
yeah,
half old, so I'm just following her around and
Watching
like
and
you know,
observing. Yeah. I'm sure
yeah, kind
she's
of living up what she's got to teach us. So
children
yeah.
are like they like when they're early and they're like 3 to 5 years old, even six sometimes, depending on developmental stages, they tend to channel directly. Like you will see kids like tap into information that other people like it's like wisdom, like direct wisdom, root wisdom, how to operate on this planet. Rachel, it's so cool to hear your perspective because like in my own personal journey through what's happening with the two full supermoons in 1 month, like that never happens. Like that's such a rare occurrence, and it feels so special to have you guys on this call because this energy is so creative right now. It's so creative to recreate what you want to have happen. So for me, I've always like this may come across as very shallow or it may even feel like such a surface thing, but for me personally, how I brand myself, and maybe other women have felt this way in their how they want to come across in their service, like how they want to be of service to the collective. And like I say,
Mm,
it's shallow because we've been conditioned to believe seeing ourselves and presenting ourselves as shallow. And I think
mhm,
it's because of social media culture. But what I've come to realize is I want to brand myself as a priestess, as a woman who taps into energy, as a woman who shares with other women, who connects with other women, and who begins to like almost come side by side and share our experiences. I am like, so most of you guys know I've got a lot of fire in my chart. I like to call on people. I like to bring your energy forward with my fire. Austin, I want to hear from you. You had a really cool thing you mentioned about timeline. You feel like timelines are shifting in the in the form that I had you guys fill out. I'd love for you to share what you're experiencing in this time with us.
Yeah. So on Friday, I actually had a very like Mandela effect type of situation happen with me,
Yes.
where there was this couple that would occasionally pop up on like reels on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
and the wife was a very distinctive, square-faced, petite brunette.
Mm-hmm.
And then come Friday, she's a not heavy set, but she's a little bit bigger than me, blonde haired, oval faced woman. And I look back and it's literally just her. Her in all the posts, all the videos.
Mm-hmm.
And they only just started posting in May. And
Mm,
I had been watching these for years.
yeah.
So that was weird.
Yeah.
And then,
Almost like they had hop timelines and you witnessed them hop the timeline.
yes,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
I gotcha.
And then I also felt like my energies inside. I haven't been really like feeling them very much for like months now.
Yeah.
And starting Friday, as I would do like my connecting with my higher self, I started to feel like immensely like the vibrations and pulsing energies that I used to get, but they were becoming like more intense. When
Yeah.
I'd like question things, I would get actual like responses and energy, whereas before I wasn't getting that.
Yeah.
It would just be like here and there.
Yeah.
And then Saturday morning, when I woke up and looked out the window, the sky, like the tone of blue to the sky and the white to the clouds, was completely different. And it's been completely different every day since. It's just
Mhm.
so much more vibrant.
Yep.
And everything in my reality that I'm seeing as white also has pink hues to it now.
Yep. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
It's just everything is just so much more vibrant for
Yeah.
me.
So that's so cool to hear you say that, Austin, because my boyfriend Mike, and like he tends to voice because he's got a defined throat center in human design. I don't know if you guys are familiar with human design, but defined throat centers tend to speak things before undefined centers do. They kind of like voice what we're all experiencing. And he said to me, he looked around outside and he was like, I feel like everything's on saturation. He's like, I'm seeing so
Yes.
many more colors.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy to have
Austin,
that shared experience between the two of you.
yes. Yeah. So you're having more, almost like you're seeing more realities. You're seeing more
Yeah.
timelines. Yep.
Yes. And
That's
I noticed that with a few other things too. But
what other things have you noticed, Austin? Because like in my mind,
so
your observations are like for the collective, when you share your
yeah.
observation. And this is something to keep in mind, Austin, because like I've done a reading with you and like I know how your chart operates. For you, it when you share the things you're noticing or observing, people will tap into your value, and that's your gift to the like to the collective consciousness. Like that's where your value will happen. That's where you'll attract your tribe. The more you share what you're observing, the more people are gonna be like, whoa, this woman is seeing the thing I'm seeing. So I just want to affirm that in you and just remind you like keep sharing what you're experiencing.
Yeah.
No, that's like Cassie's gift. It's like the gift that keeps on giving. Cassie's ability to identify other people's gifts and encourage them to use them.
It's my
Beautiful.
it's my life assignment. That's what I came here to do. And like honestly, if I can share with you guys a little bit about past lives, I know everyone
Yeah.
here believes in past lives. Everyone knows they've had them. Maybe you've even had memories come up from your past lives. You know why certain people are in your life. You met them in past lives. I am here to meet with queens. I used to serve as a handmaid for several queens in my past lives. And the women that I'm working with currently, the women that I sign up with as like as my clients, I'm working with direct women who were Cleopatra, who were Isis, who like served as queens, and I'm reminding them what they came here to do. And my whole story, it's quite long. It's a long, extensive thing to explain to people. I think I've only explained it to just a few people. Lauren, I know you know my kind of origins and where I believe I'm from. But I know without a shadow of a doubt, I'm here to empower the women who empowered me in my lifetimes in the past and remind them who they are. And everyone on this call today, without a shadow of a doubt, has been one of those women in our history, in our timeline. You've probably related to a past queen or someone who is in power who you feel very connected to. Lauren, you're not going to, you're a new Earth baby. You're like not from this planet.
Seriously, I feel like I say that all the time because, like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm have like a very deep emotional reservoir,
Yep.
and I've been through arduous experiences in life.
Yes.
And so sometimes people will talk to like a young kid who they say like, "Oh, you're mature for your age," and they'll say, "Oh, you're an old soul." But like for as long as I can remember, I've been like, I don't think I'm an old soul. Like I feel like everything is like
Brand new.
so brand new, and
Yep.
like this experience is like just mind blowing for me in 3D. And so yeah, it's always felt a little bit like I don't know about that, man.
Yeah. Your gift to come here is to expand other people's awarenesses because you're not from here and you're here, you've been assigned here.
I also feel always very called to like express the like natural wonder that I feel over things and over human beings. And uh, I, it's like not meant to be something that I experience internally. It's like almost meant to help other people see from that same perspective of just like, it's yeah, just seeing everything as if you're seeing it for the first time.
Yes. And there's such a gift in seeing things for the first time, almost like a first love, a first obsession kind of thing. It reinvigorates this part of us that gets back into the inner child. It gets back into the part of us that was very natural at birth. Like we knew how to respond to our environment. We knew how to tap into our psychic giftings. And this super full moon, guys, this Pisces super full moon is all about tapping into what you did as a child.
It's good to dissolve the ego a little bit too. You know, we carry all of our preconceived understandings of things. And so stripping that away allows us to be more curious and allows us to be more receiving of what's around us, and instead of projecting our experiences or beliefs onto our environment. And that's it can be very healing, but also it can be just a way to like gain momentum toward expansion like as a whole.
Yes. Lauren, I specifically want you to share in this call. I want you to share with all of us, like, as a Gemini, as somebody who rules the atmospheres, like you perceive atmospheres really accurately. When you watch the call, that like the YouTube video link I sent of
Oh
the
yeah.
expert astrologer, I want to hear from you. What was your interpretation of what she shared about the new Earth, about how things are unfolding right now on this planet?
Yes, I know it's tempting to go into like Age of Aquarius stuff too, because
Mhm.
we're the future is not a far away thing. Like we're in it. And so there's less of this sort of like mystification around how things can be, and it's more like the veil is just not there because we're on the other side of it. Like we're in it. It's not veiled anymore. And so especially with the Pisces full moon, that's a lot of like things being revealed or truths coming up, but in like an unstoppable force kind of way. And for me, listening to her, and she went like all the way into the dwarf planets and everything, and I
I
was like, oh my goodness,
know.
I didn't even know about these. I was like, what? They found this one in 2007. I'm like, but it's so exciting, right? Because it's like 2007 doesn't seem like that long ago, which I guess technically it was, but I'm in my 30s now, and so time
But
passes a lot faster than I remember.
honestly, with everybody who's gone into COVID, with everybody who has been
Yeah.
experiencing the shutdown, the slowdown on this planet, we all are experiencing an awareness of there's other things out there that nobody's discovered.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And there's so much like excitement. I think that like energetically it's a very sort of like bubbly energetic experience of just anticipation for like, okay, now that we're all on board with there's more to be learned, now there's a natural desire to learn it and go after it.
So, Lauren, I would love for you to share with everybody who's here what are you feeling called to go after in this full
Oh yeah. I
super
mean, I'm so excited for this part. I hate to take up so much oxygen, but like I think it's been so interesting because and I can relate to um the people pleasing thing too, like we were talking about earlier,
Mhm.
because it's once you gain awareness of it and decide you don't want to be sort of um imprisoned by that anymore, then you start to figure out, okay, well, and now that I've decided I want that to change, how do I even go about it in the first place? And so I love kind of approaching self-awareness in that way. But what I've found, especially in the last week or so,
Mhm.
like my like surface level wanting to address patterns that I want to release
Yes.
and do the things that feel uncomfortable in order to break patterns that I don't want to hang on to anymore.
Yes.
It has like this exponential like ripple effect, because what I'm learning is as I try to deconstruct one pattern
Yep.
by like actively changing a behavior, it's actually making me aware of other patterns. Like I don't know why I was looking at it in such a linear way, but
Uh-huh.
patterns interact with each other. And
Yep.
so for example, I've been feeling like really compelled to talk a lot. I don't know if anyone noticed, but I've been like compelled to be really way more communicative than I even normally am.
Yes.
And it comes from like having an awareness of the people that I'm interacting with and knowing that they can't read my mind.
Mhm.
So in order to connect with them, I'm trying to communicate like intentionally instead of kind of sitting in my internal world, or like typical Gemini being so in my mind all the time. And
Yes.
what I realized in doing that, when I came forward and told someone kind of what was going through my mind, not only was like the beliefs that I had about the situation corrected, and that was, humbling to be like, okay, I misinterpreted, some messages, which of course Mercury's in retrograde, right? But then it also created space in a conversation for that person to point out another pattern that I hadn't deconstructed yet. And
Mm.
it was like, dude, thank you. But at the same time, it was like, oh my gosh, like I'm trying so hard not to be blind to my own patterns. And
Yes.
in doing so, in trying to fix that, I've realized I'm still pretty blind. That's a lot of blind spots. I was
Yes.
like, but it's
I
cool. It's
experienced the
sort of like
very same
as you
thing
work
this.
on one, it helps you work on the other. So like the most important thing, what I've learned is that the most important thing you can do is just take the first step to doing the one
To
thing that you need to do.
communicate, because like you're
Yeah.
whole, Lauren, and how well I know you, Rachel. I want you to share your experience.
Yes. I
I
want
want,
to, I saw you talking to, I'm like,
yeah.
tell me.
No, I want you to finish that, but I wanted to say I was like, oh yeah, that for sure this happened.
Yes.
Yes. I want to share really quick. Brittany just hopped on, guys. This is Brittany DeFries. She is also a gifted multidimensional being. She is not from this planet. She is a beautiful priestess, beautiful queen of this planet, and here to offer a lot of codes, light codes. Everybody on this call actually is a light worker. I've looked at everybody's chart on this call. You guys are all incredible light workers. You guys are here for a big purpose. And I just want to start gathering us on these moons, on this energy shift that happens. I want us to begin to share what we're experiencing, because I think it's going to open up things in each of us of what we're experiencing. Brittany, I want to hear what you're feeling into during this time, because I know Brittany specifically carries a lot of um, frequency, a lot of like gifts around helping people radiate their authentic self, radiate their true illumination, their true, like the thing that makes them shine. She's really good at doing that. Rachel, I want to hear from you, since you're an Aquarius and you speak to the Aquarian age. You're a new earth priestess, new earth like prophesier. I want to hear like what you were going to follow up with what Lauren just shared.
Yes.
Well, what I resonated with was like the pattern shifting. I've noticed a lot of like generational patterns. There's like extensive generational trauma that like I can think of, and I've been like really going hard after that for the last few years, but it feels like recently like so much was able to just be like unlocked. Specifically, I'm actually at my mom's house right now, and that's been like a huge source of that. But we just like had a conversation that we've like never been able to have, but like I literally felt like it was like a line of things that we just like unlocked, and we both saw so much like in each other, but it, like had so much grace as well, you know. And it's so cool because, you know, she's being a grandma and being a mom, like, and there is this generational thing that we're like getting to witness in real time, you know, where, you know, I grew up with so much hurt and stuff, but in my lifetime and in my mom's lifetime, we are like witnessing it all change. You know, and Cassie, as my friend, I know that you know that like that's been like crazy hard to overcome, and the fact that it's just like easily being like things are changing, like new patterns here left and right. It's been really cool to observe. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's it.
Yeah, Rachel, I would say you are, as an Aquarius, but also like as someone who has other markings in their chart of like a, like you have open channels, like you receive psychic information. Everybody in this call actually receives psychic information in their charts. And I feel very like honored to know you guys individually and like really see and like understand how your gifts operate. Like Rachel, you really understand like the almost like the karmic path someone is experiencing and why they are, like you understand why they're experiencing maybe like the harder things of their story, and like you can give meaning to that. And I feel like you're here to like almost voice that for people and make them aware like, oh, I'm in a karmic pattern right now, and like I don't have to be, like I could evolve out of this. I would love to hear, because like knowing you, and so Rachel has just had a beautiful baby who I have not had the pleasure to meet yet. Her name is Evermoon, and she, like Rachel was my bridesmaid, she was like my maid of honor in my wedding. um she is like one of my dearest, oldest friends that I've had. And I miss her dearly. I want to be with her in person. And when we hit the road, once our bus is officially financed and like supported by insurance, like I want to go see her and I want to hold her baby and just like witness this new chapter of her life. But she has this beautiful baby named Evermoon. And I want to just share a quick story. When Rachel visited Nashville to tell me she was pregnant, um, we went to a crystal shop together, and this woman just gave Rachel a moon crystal. And she didn't even know that Rachel was going to name her baby Evermoon, but Rachel and I knew together. We just like looked at each other and we're like, this is a sign. Like this is like an
Well, and she said it like that specific one was like had a lot of properties that were supportive of like new mothers and births and like all this stuff in particular.
yeah.
And I was also shopping for a moon ring, which I happen to have on.
Yeah.
I wish I had that crystal. I do happen to have it with me, which I don't know why. Like I just traveled with it. I was like, oh, I'm gonna bring it with me. But yeah, it was so cool.
It was really special. And like I think about that moment with you, Rachel, and I just want to like honor that in front of all these wise women and just say like, you knew your daughter before she was born. Like you tapped into her energy and you were partnering, co-creating with her energy before she even came here. And I know all of us, whether like some of us are moms in this group, some of
And
us,
some are dog moms.
yeah, some of us are dog moms, but some of us know we're going to be moms. We deeply desire to partner with energy that we've partnered with in past lives. You've probably experienced your kids and thought, like, I know this person, like I know this kid. Brittany, I want to hear from you. Austin, I want to hear from you. You're with your kids. Like I know that you've probably felt like familiar energy. You probably felt a familial bond. You probably felt, I've been in a lifetime with this person before.
Want to hear all of this. I'm
Yeah,
like, tell me what that's like.
yes, we'd love to hear what that's like. Brittany or Austin, whoever wants to share first, like both of you guys, like I'd just love to hear. And Rachel, like with Ever, like I'd love to hear what you've been noticing and observing. I feel energetically that Austin's ready to share, or Brittany, either one of you guys. Austin, I saw that you unmuted.
Hello.
Hey.
Yeah, so I actually had received some insight on my kids from my guides. My daughter Kira
Uh-huh.
was actually my mother in a previous life. And
Yeah.
so we're living out like some karmic stuff there.
Whoa.
Hopefully I do right. My son Gabe is actually new to like our soul family.
Yep.
He only knew me, I guess. Um, so he's new in our whole family. But yeah, I've been like very, very linked to him from before he was born. And I just know that he's here specifically to help me overcome certain things
Wow.
that I struggle with.
Whoa,
And
Austin.
he's doing an amazing job.
What do you
I
feel
feel
like?
like goosebumps.
Like the name Gabe, I know the origins of Gabe, isn't it similar to the Archangel Gabriel?
Yeah, so his name is Gabriel, Gabriel Kenji.
Oh,
And
cool.
Kenji for his kanji, written it, he's half Japanese. Well, my husband's half Japanese. Um, his
What?
kanji for his middle name means intelligent ruler. So there's
Wow.
a lot going on for
Cool.
him. But yeah, um, yeah, I had a dream that I was basically naming him Gabriel before he was born. I already knew. And my husband and I could not agree on a name, and I told him this is what we're naming him. And
Yes.
he said, okay.
Yes, because that's his name.
Yes.
You know, yeah, one thing that Austin, when I read your birth chart, one thing I noticed is that you have very direct crown chakra awareness. Like you get direct, almost like thoughts that are very
Mhm.
they're channeled from your higher self. And like when I talk about channeling, I want to just make a clarification because recently I've observed that there's a lot of people out there who claim that they channel or they do channel, but they don't own what they're channeling. They don't say like, yes, I agree with what I'm channeling. I agree that this makes sense, that this is beneficial for other people. I just want to point out, just for everyone in general, anytime you meet someone who's channeling, it's so important to hear from that person that they own what they're speaking. If they're
Mhm.
channeling something and they don't own the voice that they're channeling, that's not a good sign. That means that they're in victim mentality. Victim
Mhm.
mentality will keep you held back in fourth density. When I talk about fourth density, I mean like that will hold you in polarity. Like you will hold judgment towards others or others will hold judgment towards you.
Mhm.
Everybody in this call, I know for a fact, is not in fourth density, but others who will come and watch this call who are concerned about who they're consulting for channeling, who they're consulting for coaching or mentoring, if the person does not claim to know their own sovereign identity and voice and why they're on this planet at this time, if they don't know that, I would I would second guess that energy. I've learned this lesson recently, and I've been really blessed to come into this awareness and be able to filter what I allow into my reality. Um, Austin, with your kiddo, with Gabe, this is so fascinating. Brittany, I feel like you could share a little bit with Austin about what you've been experiencing.
With my kiddos or just in general?
In general, but also if you want to share about your kiddos, like I feel like you see a lot as a projector, as an emotional projector. You are taking in the collective emotions. You're taking in what everyone else is feeling. So like I'd love for you to kind of share with us, with these wise women in the circle, what you've been experiencing.
Oh, I've been recently just really feeling kind of heavy, but it's so weird because it's a very clear heavy, even if it's not clear in that exact moment that I'm feeling that heaviness. It feels like I can really identify where it is, and find like the root of it. And it's not just like, oh man, I feel super heavy. I don't feel myself right now. Like what's going on? Because I feel very in tune with myself. And I think that that has really helped me identify where this is coming from. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been really interesting for me to observe um, what's going on in the collective
Yep.
and how I can feel like the impact of that, and like what am I going to do about it, you know?
Yes. Yes, because you have this gift of like you almost are the like you're the person who sits in the back of the room and you listen to everybody and you collect in your body, you feel what they're expressing, and then you share the wisdom or the leftover like gold of what's been panned in the group.
Hmm.
And so Brittany, like I'm so curious for you, what is it that you've observed in terms of like awareness of the source of where things are coming from? Like I'd love for you to like clarify a little bit for whoever watches this, and if they want to partner with you, because like every woman on this call, I believe, is a coach, is a guide, is someone who can offer frequencies to other women, who can offer awarenesses. Like if you connected with any woman on this call about the way they speak about their children, about the way that they interact with astrology, about the way that they express their gifts, like I want you to be able to reach out and speak to them. Brittany, I would love for you to share like what you picked up on in terms of the collective.
It's funny, it's a little bit in the theme of what you spoke about with that victim mentality. So that's kind of really beautiful that that kind of flows together for what I'm observing.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing a lot of and the victim mentality to me is actually a really broad spectrum. It's
Yep.
not just, oh, poor me, why is this happening to me?
Mhm.
It's also, like you were speaking about, it's just not taking sovereignty, not taking responsibility. What are the things that I am able to change? What can I not be a victim of, you
Yes.
know? And really reclaiming that freedom
Yeah. Yeah.
that we all have if we just are claiming our sovereignty and claiming responsibility without shame, because that's that's the power of transformation. You see something, you know, and you're like, I don't like what I'm seeing.
Mhm.
What can I initiate to
Shift.
change that?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And I find too, like sometimes there are things that we cannot change, but we can neutralize
Mm-hmm.
our feelings about them, you know,
Woo!
by
Yes.
really by really digging in and saying, you know, if somebody did me wrong,
Uh-huh.
where can I find compassion for
Mm-hmm.
that person? It
Yeah.
doesn't mean that I have to continue partnering with that energy
Yep.
and working with that person, but I can at least find compassion so that I'm not leaving any bitterness in my body.
Yep.
Because if we're feeling that victimhood, we're feeling bitterness somewhere, you know,
Yep.
whether it's towards the person or it's just feeling bitter in ourselves, you know, because we're like, man, this stuff always happens to me, or,
Mm-hmm.
you know, um,
Yep.
so
Yeah.
yeah, I'm really feeling, I've been feeling that heaviness, but not in a way that makes me feel helpless. It just makes me feel really clear
Uh-huh.
about what's holding me back or what's weighing me down, you
Mhm.
know?
Yeah. And Brittany, I remember from looking at your chart, you have a lot of Capricorn energy. Is that correct? Like you have a lot of
Yeah.
rulership on the earth, like queen energy. Like you have this essence here to rule and to help people understand how rulership works in their body, how to shine
Mm-hmm.
at their optimal light. And it's so epic to hear you express boundaries and express how to navigate energy that doesn't necessarily align with our own energy.
Mm.
Thank you for this. Like that, like honestly, like I feel like people are gonna watch this back and just like hear what you just shared and really resonate with what you just said about being able to like decide like how do I want to partner with this energy that's being like obviously I'm attracting this energy, right? That's what
Mhm.
we're like Uranus is in retrograde right now. So like we're aware of the energies we're attracting and we're like, ah shit, I didn't want that energy, damn it. Like I really wanted to like, you know, like bring in powerful women alongside me, right? Like I really wanted to like
Mhm.
I really wanted to like boost people's energy. I really wanted to like create this thing. And so like Uranus in retrograde allows us to become aware that we are like beginning to shift these things. Lauren, I felt when Brittany was talking, like I just felt this cloud of like light forming when she was talking. Did you want to share something?
It's so, you're amazing, Cassie. Yeah, I think there was a lot of like it's like the eureka moment.
Yep.
From what I've been reading about the age of Aquarius, and also like Brittany, like that was amazing. It's so cool to hear you say that and then be like, oh my God, this is like exactly what I was reading about the collective experience. Particularly now, there's this accountability that we can't avoid for our experiences. So the onus is on us as individuals, but as a part of the collective, we have the resources and things that we need to do, like that nothing is stopping us to make the changes or to manage our experiences except us. And so there will still be people who get in their own way, but it's more apparent now that like you can't blame it on anything else. You are your own barrier to moving forward.
Yes.
And so there's this accountability piece of it where it's like you're not even going to be able to fool anyone else. And
Yes.
yeah, other people are sharing in that collective awareness, and so that now there are things that you could kind of get away with on an individual level now that you won't be able to anymore.
Can't now. Yeah. So the collective, I want to narrate what Lauren and Brittany have just shared. Like on the collective level, we're in 5D. Like collectively, the whole universe is in 5D energy. We're catching up to this frequency. We're remembering the frequency that we're currently at as a collective. In 5D, we're all aware of each other's secrets. We feel each other's kind of almost like we can feel each other's trauma when we read each other's like posts on Facebook. When we see what each other are doing, like we can feel the motivation behind what someone says. And with the psychic new moon, or not the new moon, the full moon, and I call it a new moon because like anytime the moon changes in my perspective, it feels like a new moon. I'm like, oh, okay, we're doing this now. It's like scrap everything,
I know it's hard to get this one out. It's a full super blue moon.
Yeah. And it's the second one in a month. So it's like time, like what we construct as time, right? Like there's only one full moon in a month. That's not even a thing. Like we're in a time and space where 2 full moons happen in a month. When is that? Like that's crazy. So it's like this energy, it has collected the energy from the first full moon, which is the Leo. And so Leo is all about expressing who the fuck you think you are, like who you're here to be. Like it's all about tapping into your inner fire. It's all about tapping into change, tapping into like a higher, almost like royal, like part of yourself. And then it's becoming this version of yourself to offer the collective. We're in 5D now. So everyone's under the operation of service. We're no longer
Venus is still in Leo right now too.
Yes.
So there's like, oh yeah, that was in Pam's report as well.
Talk about that a little bit, Lauren. Like what did you notice about that part of
Venus in Leo? I mean, so I connect with Leo energy because it's my descending sign, and so like I'm very drawn to Leo energy. It's
my ascendant. That's how we met.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So
I always forget those little details. But
so
I love it. I think that
Lauren, really quick, I just want to share our dynamic with everybody who's on the call. So someone who's a descendant sign will be attracted to an ascendant sign. And the reason is because you both share the same energy together. And so like you can co-create on the energy. Anyone that you notice in your birth chart, just like astrology point of view, if you notice that their descendant is your ascendant, co-create with that person because you guys are going to create magic together. Lauren, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I just wanted to
Oh, please.
on that.
I love when you interrupt me. I'm like, I love everything that comes out of your brain and heart and mouth. But yeah, no, I think the there's sort of, especially with the full moon being in Pisces, there can be this heaviness or intensity because Pisces is the dreamer. And I'm acquainted with Pisces energy because my youngest sibling, my little sister, is a Pisces, like in every way. And she's literally a marine biologist and trying to study right now how to save the ocean. She's living in New Zealand and like learning how to restore kelp forests, and like she's really embodied Pisces energy in a way that makes me feel very connected to it.
Yeah.
But Pisces is also very emotional and moody, and I've seen the physicality of that as well. And that what's unique, I think, about this full moon is that it doesn't feel like negative energy. It feels like a powerful energy, but like with a lot of beauty.
Yes.
And I think the Venus being in Leo is playing into that, because there is a little bit more of this, like you were saying earlier too, Austin, about like the saturation and the vibrancy and the colors.
Yep.
That's very Venus and Leo, like very vibrant art, and creating things that are like very present and meant to be seen and felt, and they sort of like beg for your awareness of them. So
Yes.
there's a hopefulness, I think, to like what we let go with this full moon isn't just trying to get rid of baggage. It's like letting go for something good to to allow the good to come in.
Like making space for the new energy to fill. Yeah. Because like Pisces is also the last, like if you study the order of astrology, the order of the storytelling in the cosmos, Pisces is the last energy. Like they close the curtain on the show. They like do like the like crazy like kind of revealing undertone. Everyone's thinking the thoughts that they share. It's like this like psychic energy. Psychic gifts are going to be really big during this time with the psychic with the I call it psychic with the Pisces full moon, but with the psychic I would just say psychic full moon. All of your psychic energies, whether you're clairvoyant, whether you're clairsentient, whether you're like whatever clair you're gifted in, it's going to be heightened during this time. So you're going to be receiving a lot of information to essentially become who you want to become, because the Leo energy that was just present, Leo's all about identity, all about who you want to become. So I want to share with you guys specifically what I'm working on with this energy today. I'm working on rebranding myself, rebranding my my service, like what I'm here to do on the earth. Like I'm focusing on how do I want to be felt? How do I want to be known? Summit. Okay, beautiful golden retriever energy just popped on the call. I can't help but notice it. I'd love to hear from you again, Austin, because Austin, you have this gift of embodiment. You have this gift of receiving higher energies and translating it into the physical body. Like as you're hearing the things that are being shared in this call, what are you experiencing? Like I'm just so curious.
Me too.
Honestly, I haven't really like felt anything, but I am seeing a lot of movement in my peripheral.
Yeah.
So every time I turn my head, it's just because I'm like want to see it, but it's not there.
Yes.
Well, it's there. It's just
Yeah.
It's shifting.
Have you
But
have you experienced like color orbs in your peripheral?
yes, not lately, but I definitely experience many color orbs. I experience lights, but in dark places.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there's a lot that I pick up on and that I don't even like truly acknowledge anymore because it would happen so much. So I'm trying to train myself to get back into the habit of noticing and taking note, basically.
Yeah, because like you're very gifted and like receiving energy. You're very gifted in receiving collective awareness, Austin. So
Yeah.
anytime you experience something, you have the ability to translate to people who are rooted, people like people who are on the earth planet, like they can really understand your language around what you're experiencing, and they may be ashamed to like share. They're like, I'm seeing like blue and purple orbs when I'm talking to my dad and I don't know why, which aka like I just did a podcast with my dad and my mom talking about spiritual giftings, got really honest with them on a podcast, like asking how what it was like raising a kid that they didn't quite understand. And when I was interviewing them, like I was seeing all kinds of orbs around them. I was seeing like weird lights and like, and to me, it's not weird. Like I'm at the point now where I know if I see blue and purple, it's like, oh, someone's throat chakra is being activated. Wow, they're seeing their third eye right now. Like they're aware of what I'm speaking about. They're seeing images. So I'm curious, Austin, what visuals have you been experiencing during this time?
I mean, lately, the only major differences that I've been experiencing are just the heightened colors. Like the colors definitely shifted. And
Hmm.
I think beforehand I had a pretty broad like perception of colors, like more
Yeah,
so than some people.
yeah.
And it's just this much higher now.
Wow.
Like everything, like it's saturation. It's just everything is so much more vibrant, and like there's just like a glow that wasn't there before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're noticing the atmospheric change. You're noticing the energetic change. And like I'm just
Yeah.
curious, like if you could nail down one color, like just one color that you've noticed fluorescently, Brittany, fluorescence, like what color, Austin, would you say you've noticed the most at this
I
time?
would say I pick up on pink more often lately. Like in the last like week, it's pink.
And like, let me just ask all of you wise women, like, what is pink? Like, if you work with a crystal, okay? Let's say you work with a certain crystal and it's pink. Why would you work with this crystal? I just like want to hear whoever is open to sharing. Like, Lauren, I feel like you're ready to talk, or
Oh,
Brittany.
oh yeah, I don't know. I'm like, oh, I could take plenty of time to think that one through. But I'm wearing my rose quartz right now.
Hmm.
Um, and I feel like what it as I like now fidget with them both, but the citrine here. But yeah, it's for me it feels very personal the way that those tones are kind of like coming back into my color palette and my experience.
Hmm.
Um, so I don't know how to reflect on it outside of my personal experience. I'm more curious to gain insight on that.
I'm gonna just like stop you right there. What is pink? If you could define it with one word, Lauren, what is pink? Because like I don't want anyone else to define this for you.
For me, pink is like love and like feminine energy, like nurturing
Yep.
and vulnerability. And that's why sometimes I don't feel connected to it, but I lately I do. So
That makes me want to just like laugh because like rose quartz, for example, that's a crystal that's used to use, it's a grid work crystal. Okay. So like anytime you use pink rose quartz, you're tapping into the grid, you're tapping into other people who are utilizing rose quartz. It's a very
oh.
prominent crystal. It's very easy to access. It's cheap. The reason is because there's so much of it. It's a
Mm.
grid crystal. So it allows us to connect to other people who are utilizing that same energy. It helps us tap into inner child work. It helps us tap into earth energy. It's a very nurturing, a very like almost like, I mean, like in our current culture, right? Pink represents like having a baby girl. But in the olden days, guys get this. In the olden days, boys were represented with light pink. So it has shifted.
Mm.
That color meaning has shifted in our culture, but it still carries the same meaning of nurture,
Mm.
nurturing the root. Brittany, I feel like you had something you wanted to share. And like I can feel you guys. I'm like, tell me what you're
I
thinking.
love it.
Oh, I don't know that I had much to add. I'm just kind of laughing over here because before Austin answered what color she was seeing, I knew it was going to be pink. And then like the word that was on the tip of my tongue, you know, as you're asking Lauren, like if it's one word, like what is pink? I'm like, it's love, you know, like I was just feeling all the same things. So I'm just kind of smiling to myself because yeah, I resonate. Yeah.
I love that. Cassie, thank you for hosting this. You know, like it still feels for me like such a gift to have this kind of experience where like energetically, even if you're not physically present, you still feel very connected to other women. And I think for a long time I was sort of sleeping on female friendships. I had a bazillion brothers and grew up in an environment that sort of produced this very hyper independent person. And I've been trying to be more conscious of how stuck in my masculine energy I've always been to create a sense of safety in my own world.
Yeah.
And so in some ways, the way that I managed that was to close myself off to like feminine energy and that kind of warmth and not really allowing myself to receive it and only being a giver of it as long as there was like still a wall up to keep myself out of it. And as I work to break that down, I've had some of the best friendships and connections that I like, you know, like much later in life, I never would have thought I'd make friendships in like a later phase of my life that felt deeper and more long-standing and like a greater connection than, you know, society's determined oldest best friend, you know, like it's sometimes they say there's nothing that replaces that kind of friendship that you have from when you're young. But I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I would challenge that now that I feel more authentically who I am. And that's the person that I'm allowing to make friends with people now. So
yeah, like Lauren, what I hear you just like what I heard and what you just shared is that you're coming into your magnetism. You're aware of how you can draw what you want in a friend to you. And you're beginning to step into, if I put this out into the universe, I'm going to attract this. And so like the psychic full moon, the Pisces full supermoon, it's the best time, guys. It is the best freaking time to manifest who you want to pull into your circle, what you want the world to perceive you to be. So like I'm just going to share with you guys my biggest tip with this full moon is to tap into how you want to brand yourself, your services. Because like I know I work with a lot of women, everybody on this call, I work with a lot of healers and light workers. How do you want to brand yourself? How do you want to be of service to the collective right now? Because this Pisces full moon is going to allow you to tap into that creative, conscious creator energy. It's going to allow you to be aware of what am I creating in this reality, in this 5D reality? What do I want to affect here? What do I want to see change? Because like all of us, we're looking in a mirror. Every day we're facing a mirror of our reality. Everything that we see in front of us, the way that Mike responds to me, the way that the bus is being created, the way that whatever, like the way that I have my relationship with my parents, it's all a reflection of me being present with the energy in front of me. And so I just want to encourage everybody on this call today. There's such a present energy to rebrand yourself right now, to tap into the energy that you want to show up as. I'd love for us all, just like before we hop off this call, I want you to share what energy collectively are you wanting to share right now? Just like as a statement to verbalize to the universe, like what do you want the collective to feel you as? Like what do you want the collective to receive you as? Because tonight is the night to do it. Like, and honestly, I'd love to see all of you guys set up an altar for the divine within you. I'd love to see you set up like a station or set up something to acknowledge this part of you, like what you feel like you're here to do, what you feel like your gifts are. I'm personally going to set up a station to tap into water energy. I feel like I'm here to like help people with their fluids. I'm here to help people correct their energy in terms of diet, nutrition, alignment. Like I really feel like I'm here to help the collective align with what they're here to do. I want to help activate people in those areas. I want to help I just like want to help people see their gifts, because like once you see your gifts, like there's no excuse. There's no reason to not step into that. So like I know I'm doing that in this full moon. I want to hear from you guys. What's one object you would put on your altar?
Hmm.
Okay. What's one object you would put on your altar to your divine self? What do you want to, how do you want to rebrand yourself? How do you want to come across to the collective? What do you want to create? Because this is a creative energy. What do you want to create? That's the one question. I want to hear, what do you want to create? I also want to hear, what do you feel like is shifting for you right now?
I'll go first. Pick me.
Lauren,
Okay.
tell me.
So I think the altar itself needs to be my guitar.
Yep.
I think that will serve as the actual altar and sort of the base.
Yes.
When you said the creative energy and creativity, I just about lost my mind. Especially in the past couple weeks, I've learned about myself that like trying to do a job that doesn't inherently allow me to be creative constantly is like it feel like, not to be dramatic, but also embracing the drama of it, feels like being sentenced to death. Yeah. Like so what I want to do with this energy is stop sort of gaslighting myself into this narrative that like it's just a job, you just have to make money, and be like, no, it is who I am, that I need to on a daily basis express creatively and use that chunk of my brain.
Yeah.
So what I'm calling into existence now is a release of trying to fit myself into an archetype that is not me.
Yeah.
And be like owning that is who I am, that I need to be creative, and that specifically the skills and gifts that I bring to my vocation are through my ability to express creatively, whether that is artistically or musically or through storytelling as that shows up in visual art or music.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the energy that I take. My altar is going to be my guitar. And
Yes.
I would say that counts as maybe the object that I would bring to it. And then I think I'll be really intentional with just bringing in as many different colors in the spectrum as I can to reflect the vibrancy and the like opportunities to mix and more colors together, and to just having an expansive palette from which to create.
Yep. So I just like, I want to pause for a second, because like this is so in theme with everybody that's on this call right now. Like Brittany, like you're here for radiance, like you're here to bring out the color in people. Like, and Lauren, I heard you mention vocation. Are you referencing your Gene Keys chart by chance?
Oh, I need to look at my Gene Keys
Yeah.
again too. I always get Gene Keys and human design
Yep.
kind of mixed up. But
Well, they're from the same resource. They're both from the I Ching. They're both connected to astrology. The parent of them is astrology. And like you can literally, like, if you just like a quick tip from an astrologer to you guys, if you look at your gates and your human design, it's always directly related to what shows up in your Gene Keys. So your most potent, your most purposeful, your most important gifts are going to show up in your Gene Keys. Brittany, I know you study Gene Keys. I know you do readings for people with Gene Keys. Austin, I've shared your Gene Key with you in your reading that we did. Lauren, I know we've looked at it, but what your vocation is, that's a great thing to bring up in this time of manifestation. Honestly, ladies, from this call, I would love to see how you tap into this energy. If you want to make a post about it, if you want to share, like, I am creating this with this creative Pisces energy. Pisces is all about imagination. It's all about inner vision. Pisces allows you to tap into the dream state. And the dream state is what we call 5D. Let me just clarify that. Like, there's all this bullshit out on the internet. There's all this like bullshit about what 5D is. 5D is the dream state. It's the creative field. You get to create what you want in this lifetime. I want to hear from you guys. What are you creating with this new energy? What are you creating with what's coming through? Because
Yeah, I want to hear about everyone else's altars.
yeah, I'd love to hear next. Austin, I know you do pottery. I know you've got
You do
kiddos.
pottery? That's so cool.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, Austin, your hands are so gifted. Like,
Oh, I want to see.
yes.
So as far as what I'd put on my altar, it would definitely be an array of crystals, and then I would incorporate my art. So pottery, paintings, everything. I like animals, so I'd probably find some way to put some kind of figurine in there too.
Austin,
Um,
what is your like if you could pick an animal that you feel like is your guardian or is your
it's a polar bear.
the polar bear?
Yeah,
Talk
yeah.
about for all of us on this call, for people who show up later in like the timeline, like on YouTube, when I post this on YouTube, because I'm gonna share. I'm I'm a big sharer. I don't keep things from people. I'm not a gatekeeper. Like I'm gonna share this on YouTube. I want other people to feel this energy with us. I want them to connect with you guys. Um, Austin, can you define polar bear medicine to us?
Um, I would say just embracing the cold and utilizing the cold to manifest and bring about healing. Like people always say you need to bundle up to stay warm, but honestly, like when you're sitting in the cold, it you get like a numbness because you're cold, but the numbness is also like a calm. It helps center your body, it brings a balance back.
Yes, it's almost like it shocks the system a little bit and like creates the numbness and it creates like a I think personally like cuz I have cold digestion in human design. So like I'm like if you were to give me an animal for my digestion or my the way that I receive crown chakra
Mhm.
downloads. That's like essentially in human design when you look at up your digestion, that's how you digest your crown chakra downloads. Mine's mine's cold, mine's kitchen, mine's wet. So I have to be in an environment that feels cold, wet, almost moist. And for me, what I've realized is like if I'm in the state of numbness physically, like I don't feel my physical body, but my imagination is activated outside of my body, I receive like downloads and images, stories. So I think
Oh,
that's
and your
yes,
perception of everything outside of the body is that much greater.
yes.
Mhm.
Austin, you should offer animal medicine readings, dude.
That
Like,
would be amazing.
That
damn.
was kind of
Sign me up.
something that I've been like looking into, but not just like the insight into them, but actually incorporating animals themselves.
Mm,
Oh, cool.
It,
yes.
yeah.
That would be so helpful, I think, for anyone when they're like experiencing different densities, like to understand
Mhm.
animals and the density that they come from, what they're here to offer and teach us. Like, I just feel like that's like invaluable for the growth process.
Yeah.
Thank you for that perspective.
Hmm.
Brittany, I want to hear what with this full moon, this full super blue moon, heckin' blue psychic Pisces moon, what do you want to create in this energy?
I am like really feeling the pressure and like not the pressure in a bad way or a negative way, but I'm really feeling the pressure to like be out there serving and like it feels long overdue. Um but at the same time like I've really recently learned so much more. And I think it puts me in a much better and more heart-centered place to come from as I step into my service to others.
Yes.
I've learned a lot lately and it's just become really clear to me like I feel like I went through this process of like really stepping into my power,
Yep.
and really understanding my own worth and things like that But now, like, I'm kind of being brought to this softer side of that while still carrying those energies with me. I have this like softer, I don't know, I feel very heart centered. And I think that that's the best place I
Yep.
could be at a time when I also am feeling so much pressure to like, okay, it's time, go, you know,
Yep. That's
put
so
yourself out there and be in service. Like, I truly, truly just want to help people. And more than anything, I really want to show people how to help themselves and align with themselves. And like, you know, as a projector, as somebody who's here to be a guide,
yeah.
I've been through this kind of humbling experience that's like, well, I'm not trying to tell anybody like that I know better in like in some ways or things like that. I know that my life experience has given me a lot of wisdom. I
Yeah.
know that and I value it in myself. Um, but I just feel really humbled. I feel like, you know what? Like, I am not any better than anybody else. I'm also not any less than anybody else.
Yep.
I really believe in everybody having their own gifts to share. And I believe in oneness, but also everyone's unique expressions when they really embrace and embody who they're here to be. Um, I
Yes.
find it, yeah, I just find it really inspiring. And that is sort of like where my focus is sort of being directed right now.
So we're in an age and time 5D. So the kind of theme that happens in 5D is you no longer need a teacher. The teacher is within you, right? Like that's the energy we're all aware of. And as a projector, someone who guides energy, you're here to help people vibrate at their highest frequency, Brittany. You're here to see people in their fullest energy, and you're here to help them calibrate to that energy. And it's not necessarily you're here to like have the answers, like you're here to be like the wisdom, like you're not a gatekeeper. I know you because like I know you personally. You're not a gatekeeper. Like you're here to offer so many gifts to people and like see them in such an intimate way where they can step into their fullest potential. And if you
And telling people how to reframe, like when you were speaking earlier about showing someone how to see something through a lens of compassion as a way of addressing their own internal experience, that's huge. Like it's like the word compassion is like on a neon blinking sign when you're speaking, and like it's like that's what's coming up for me is this like neon pink, like that's the heart space that's coming from, and it's so huge. And literally what you just said was like how my yoga teacher closed out the practice last night, and I'm like, this is everything's connected. Sorry, Cassie, I got excited. I didn't mean to interrupt you. It's just it's so beautiful hearing everything, and I get so excited.
I'm like, this is a wise woman's circle. Okay. So like I have collected the wisest women in the land, and I expect to be interrupted by wise women, okay? Like that, like my intentions for this call, I just like want to like voice this. Anytime I host a wise women's gathering, I want to hear from the wise women in my life. Like I want to hear collectively what we're experiencing in our bodies, physically, spiritually, emotionally, because I think this is my understanding of 5D. The more we come together, the more we gather, the more we share our wisdom as women, the more we all can step into what we're here to do to create the new earth. And like that's my passion. Like I just want to see all of us just like doing our thing. And I honestly like the women that came today, like you guys, I just feel really honored to get to like be on a call with you guys in your like free time on a Wednesday and hump day. You guys came to this freaking new like full super blue whatever moon, like the crazy ass energy that we're dealing with, okay? Like it just to me it feels really honoring to get to like hear from you guys. And I'm a projector like Brittany. Like I'm here to guide people. I'm here to help people align with their fullest potential. Like I'm here to like help people see themselves. Like I'm here to see, right? And I'm also a collector of stories. I'm a 1/3 projector. So like I'm here to like gather people and collect wisdom and help each other hear each other. Like that's my gift. And so for me it's such an honor to get to like hear you guys. Austin, Brittany, and Lauren, also Rachel, also Kayla, who came on the call. Everybody who came on the call today, like it's such a gift to get to hear you guys and hear what you're experiencing. I want to keep hosting these for us. I want to keep providing a space, a safe space to share what we're noticing, what we're observing, and then what we can tap into. I would love to like give you guys a prompt. Like the coach in me, the teacher in me, the projector in me wants to offer an activation for you guys. Are you guys game?
I'm game, girl. It's a
Yeah.
privilege to be a part of a call like this too. Like I was saying earlier, you know, you can't, it's hard to find this organically. Well, I'll speak for myself. I've had a hard time finding this organically. And so it's really cool to have you lead something like this, Cassie, and then facilitate a connection that feels really rewarding.
Yeah.
So
I was
thanks.
just like, as like the people who like the names that came in who was coming to this call, I was like, oh yes. I was like, yes. Like when Austin, when I saw your name, I was like, oh my gosh, like she's gonna be able to like explain embodiment, like the physical, the 3D, like what she's experiencing to us so much. She's gonna be able to narrate this for us. And I was like, oh my God, Lauren's gonna be able to explain how we're all thinking in our mind. And I was like, Brittany's gonna be able to explain the heart and like how we're feeling. And I was like, Kayla's gonna she's gonna divinely channel wisdom, and so is Rachel. And I was just like, oh my God, these women are incredible. Like I was just like, honestly, like this felt like it felt like such like a treat. So my activation for you guys as a projector, I want you guys to take tonight. I want you to journal. I want you to soak up this creative energy. Study Pisces. Go read. Like if you have to, go read books. I'm not opposed to books. Like I study a lot of different resources. I'm a 1/3 projector, so like I take in a lot of information. I've taken a lot of channelers. I've taken a lot of. I just like all day. I have audio. Yes, this book that I recommend to Lauren. She's got. It's like back here. This book. If you don't,
I love it.
If you don't have this book and you want to be an astrologer, mine has paint, but and it's probably backwards for the camera, but the only astrology book you'll ever need. Like it's honestly the only book you'll ever need. Anyways, all I'm gonna say is, guys, I want to see you guys set up a physical altar for your higher self, for the divine within you, for the creator, the conscious creator within you. Set up an altar for this super full moon. This is a creative energy. You can create whatever the hell you want. Create who you want to become, guys. Like I want to see you set it up. I want to see a physical, beautiful image. Maybe you create a piece of art, Austin. Maybe you create like a beautiful cup or mug that you drink out of every day, right? Like Lauren, maybe you write a song. Maybe you write a song about like what you're tapping into during this time. Brittany, maybe you release a makeup line. Maybe you release like you already like showed some beautiful images, like rebranding images. Like maybe you tap into this beautiful imagery, this beautiful image of what we're becoming. For me personally, for my altar, I'm going to be setting up rebranding. I'm going to be setting up the message, the energy I want people to receive from me. I'm going to be sharing that. I'm going to be focusing on that with this energy tonight. Mike and I have like a ton of water that we filtered that we're going to put out in the moon. We're going to use it for the next year. This energy, guys, this, like if you were to like take water and bless it with this moon energy, put it outside. I don't know if any of you guys make moon water, but like that, like you can program water. I don't know if you guys are aware. You are aware. You guys are conscious queens. You guys are aware. We can program water. We can tell water what we want water to accomplish. So like if we want water to go and feed flowers to bloom, like we can like tell the water to do this. So tonight I'm going to set up a station. I'm going to set up an altar. I'm going to set up like essentially an intention station of what I want to create with this energy. I would love to see what you guys create. You can send it to me privately if you prefer. But just so that collectively together we can acknowledge what's happening in each other and we can witness what's unfolding. Thank you so much for being on the call with me tonight. It's such an honor to have each of you guys, and I'm excited for the next call. I intend to keep doing this. I intend to keep gathering wise women together, sharing perspectives. I'd love to see what you create tonight with this energy. I love you guys. Is there any last thoughts we want to share? What is the biggest what's the biggest nugget of gold you got from this call? I'd love to hear that if you want to share. Lauren, you're ready. You're ready to tell me everything.
I'm trying not to be that person that's always like, blah, blah, blah.
No, you're Gemini. Freaking tell me the wisdom, okay?
I think the sort of nugget of gold for me is, it's such a beautiful thing to have other human beings that help get me out of my little Gemini head, honestly. And it's just like the treat for me in all of this is like, it's nice to meet you, Brittany and Austin, and hear your experiences and stories, and just your like the divine wisdom is so beautiful. And I haven't stopped smiling for like the last hour and a half. It's just such a, it's hard to put words to how good it feels to be a part of a community.
Yeah. Damn it, you took all the words. Yes, Lauren.
So that's what makes this special, and that's my little golden nugget from all of this.
Beautiful. Who would like
So
to
for
share?
me,
Austin.
it was realizing that my observations can have meanings for others, and it's not just like meant for me to like keep all to myself and maybe think I'm crazy, maybe think I'm not.
Yeah.
I can share them, and also I gain insight when I share them. So that's
Ooh,
good.
big. What you give, you receive tenfold, Austin. It's amazing. Brittany.
I yeah, having this like very intentional environment together means a lot for me at this time, when I've really been feeling like I want to connect. I think like conversations like this are super, super like activating, and I hold them really, really sacred, actually. Dude, I'm such a sap, okay? I'm an emotional
Me too.
sap.
I'm like trying not to, but I know there's tears right here. So
Yeah, I know, I feel it coming too. Yeah, I just am. I'm sensitive and emotional and just really heartfelt. And so I've really been craving those like heartfelt connections where it's like, I don't know, so much of what this was. And I'm really just appreciative that you put this together, because all of it feels really sacred to me. I think what I'm going to put together tonight, I'm going to really, it feels sacred now. So I want to make sure that when I do it, I'm still in that really sacred energy.
Yeah, the feeling that you captured in your chest, in your belly.
Yeah.
You want to communicate that into words, and take your time, Brittany, with your emotional authority. Guys, I see you all as active, like those who are here in service to the planet at this time. So like after this call, if you want to send me a portfolio, if you want to send me a link for your services, if you want to send me like a little like, I'd love to connect with anyone who watches this call on the topic of astrology, on the topic of gene keys, on the topic of life alignment, on the topic of creating art that expresses the energy that's present, on the topic of children, whatever, what the heck ever you guys freaking do, please send it to me. I would love to share your gifts publicly. I would love to lift you guys up into the light, because I think you guys really offer so much for the collective, and it means a lot that you guys showed up today. Please update me on your altars, on your beautiful setups that you guys do. It doesn't matter when you send it. If it's a month from now and you need time to process what you're setting up, I would be so jazzed to hear from you like a month from now. You know, I'd be jazzed to hear from you tomorrow, but like, take your time, use this energy. It's really, really potent. And I just really wanted to hop on here and let you guys know, like, this is a one in a life, like 1 in 30 years opportunity to get to tap into this energy. So I love you all. I'm so proud of you guys and like what you're offering. And I hope to connect with you guys sooner than later.
Yes. Thank you. It's so nice to meet everyone.
Thank you.
Happy full moon.
Happy full moon.